Hello, everyone. It's almost done. I'm not live yet. Here we go. Hello, welcome to our 10th showcase. This is regenerative product design, the deep dive for that. Hello, I'm June Bea, CEO of Bea Group. I just wanted to welcome all of you to this internship showcase. It is something we at Bea Group have been working with high schoolers on a paid internship, and we have been collaborating with 3 school districts: Davis, Downey, and Glendale. And so this has been a 6-week internship. All interns had to apply and interview for the experience. It's 6 weeks. It starts off with 1 week working with Bea Group in onboarding, and they get email addresses. We do leadership training as well as communication mastery. There is social justice in the workplace sessions. And then during the 2nd to the 6th week, they actually work with industry professionals and folks that lead their deep dive. And so that's what this is. This is a showcase of what they worked on with their deep dive lead. And I wanted to welcome Regina. Hi, Regina. She's our deep dive lead for this regenerative product design. It's one of our newer deep dives. Hi, Regina.
Hi, June.
Welcome. So please let us know what your interns worked on.
Yes, so I had the privilege to lead 20 interns in our regenerative product design deep dive. And I had 4 co-designers who were absolutely amazing in helping us lead this project. We were very fortunate enough to work with a new nonprofit out of San Miguel, California, that is Open Source Ag. They are a grow to donate farm, and that is owned by Kelly Cooper. And so we were lucky enough to actually work with the company to help design product packaging that is regenerative. At least we were trying to get as close as we could to regenerative. And basically what that means is to try to get materials that become a nutrient within a future cycle, unlike sustainability that kind of changes its form but doesn't really get back to its natural form. So we had the task of trying to create seed packaging as well as mailers and bulb packaging so that Open Source Ag could mail those out to other people in different communities that could continue to grow produce that could be donated to their own community. So we were also responsible to create flyers that would be fun and give some type of activities that could be interactive for people who were actually receiving these packages. So we tried as much as possible to keep to Open Source Ag's missions and values. So I am so proud of these guys. They did a tremendous job. I know this was something that was new to a lot of them, and many of them already are involved in composting and really caring about the environment and the materials that they use and the products that they purchase in their own homes. So anyway, they really spent a lot of time in research and working collaboratively with one another and trying to test out different materials and products and going through the whole design thinking process, which was really fun to watch the different stages as it evolved. And so anyway, we had an amazing conversation with Kelly at the start of our deep dive so that we could understand even more what her vision was and what they were looking to hopefully accomplish with us designing with them. So yeah, that is pretty much as I can give you right now. And the interns are going to showcase exactly what they were able to create. I just want to add one more thing. There were 3 types of packaging they could try to design, and that is small packaging, medium, and large. So you're going to see different variations throughout the different presentations. So would you like me to go ahead and start with our first group? Okay, so I'd like to introduce our first presenters. Our interns are David, Matthew, and Audie. If you would please go ahead and showcase.
Hi, everyone. We were part of the Regenerative Product Design Deep Dive internship. My name is David.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Aditya. We're all rising seniors at Davis Senior High School.
Our task for this internship was to design a regenerative and sustainable package for our client open source ag, including prototyping the small kit, which would hold 2 seed packages and 5 papers. The package needed to be environmentally friendly while still remaining cost effective. Our client open source ag is a nonprofit organization that aims to foster an interest in Grow to Donate, meaning that they'll be sending the seed packages that we've designed to the local community in hopes that they'll grow small amounts of food to donate to local charities.
Okay, so first we needed to decide what we wanted the actual packaging to be. And we narrowed it down to 2 main options, either a box or a bag. And whatever packaging we chose, we just need to make sure that it met the requirements. And those are that it needs to hold several seed and bulk packets. It needs to hold several flyers containing information about open source ag, but also us, the designers. And then most importantly, we needed to make sure that the packaging was as close to 100% eco-friendly as possible. So as we were kind of brainstorming, we thought about the advantages of having either. We thought that a bag would be lighter and cheaper. However, a box was just more durable. It allowed us to have more intricate designs and also doesn't bend the flyers. And then just overall, the box would just keep its contents more secure. So we finally decided to use the box as the final packaging.
To prototype the package, we started off by sketching possible box designs and designing parameters to match UPS shipping size restrictions. We then created a close representation of our box in terms of figuring out what color we wanted to use and where the color should be, as well as figuring out what designs we wanted to have to make it look creative. We later refined our designs to have it look cleaner and fit better on the outside of the box, and also created designs on the inside. As you can see on the picture, we chose to use dark green to match our theme of that eco-friendly look.
For our flyer design, we created 2 different flyers, one detailing who we were and also a short description of open source ag's mission. We also included a QR code of our website's blog. And for our design flyer, we included pictures of the various components of our package and also how each individual component is regenerative. In addition, we included a QR code of open source ag's website.
Okay, so another component of our packaging would be the plant bulb pouch. And finding a plant bulb pouch was especially difficult because unlike seeds, plant bulbs need ventilation in order to keep them healthy and able to grow. So you can see what pouch we chose on David's camera right now. The bags we chose come in 2 sizes depending on how many seed bulbs there are and how big each one would be. It's made up of a non-woven fabric known as polypropylene, and this solves the problem of ventilation because it allows the bulb to easily absorb water and also airflow. Additionally, seedling roots can penetrate the pouch, which will help aid in their growth. And because these bags are made up of a biodegradable and eco-friendly material, this means that they can be directly transplanted into the ground without having to take the bulb out of the bag. And these bags are also easily heat sealable.
For our box package, we opted to use a cardboard-like material that is made up of 100% recycled content. It's also naturally biodegradable and 100% recyclable. As you can see on my camera, it's customizable to various dimensions. In our case, we gave it a width of 8 inches, a length of 5 inches, and a height of 1.75 inches. And it's also customizable with decorative designs to make it more approachable and fun. All the logos and designs will be printed using algae ink, which reduces carbon emissions and the usage of fossil fuels.
For our mailer, we chose to use compostable craft paper, which is entirely organic and biodegradable. As you can see on David's screen, the mailer has a smooth texture similar to a thicker paper. It's also custom designed, incorporating the open source ag logo. And underneath that, we have space for the seed name and seed number, which can either be handwritten on there or printed on. The designs themselves can be made from either algae ink or a soy-based ink.
So this brings us to the final design of the package. As you can see on the screen, there's a final cost breakdown. And although each of the materials themselves don't cost that much, it's the custom designs that add to the price slightly. So each box is $2, each mailer is $1.50, and each bulb pouch is 2 cents. And so the total approximate price of one package with one seed mailer and one bulb pouch is $3.52. But of course, this is an approximation because when ordering in bulk, that will decrease the costs. And also having many different types of seeds and bulbs will require you to have more mailers or pouches, which will also change the cost. This is just another reminder that all components of our product are biodegradable, from the ink on the box to the mailer into the pouch.
To document our progress, we created a weekly blog that was centered around our journey creating our product. We also created multiple documents for our research, such as how to work around our constraints, what materials we wanted to use, and what designs we wanted to have. We also created task lists to note what we would be working on and how much we wanted to be finished by the end of each meeting. Here is the QR code to our blog if you'd like to know more about our journey creating this product. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and our next presenter is Teresa Sanchez.
Hi, my name is Teresa Sanchez. I'm just gonna share my screen. Hi, my name is Teresa Sanchez. I'm a rising senior at Downey High School, and this is my regenerative product design presentation working with open source ag. Our objective was to create regenerative packaging, and I chose the large box, which would contain 10 to 12 seeds, 6 bulbs, some flyers and pamphlet, and would also have a blog to document the process of my journey. So initially, some of my brainstorming included seed paper, some tea bags, seed spoons, and seed pencils. This was once given to me as a gift, and I really liked this idea where you would just use the pencil, put the pencil back into the pot and water it like normal, and the capsule of the pencil would dissolve and the seed would just be left in the ground. So I took the impracticality out of this idea and I just used the capsule. But immediately I ran into a problem because normally capsules are made from gelatin, and gelatin is made from skin and bones of pigs and cows typically. But I did find an alternative vegan capsule, which is made from 100% vegetable cellulose. And so you would just normally plant the capsule, and when you would water it, the capsule would dissolve into the water, and there would just be no animal byproduct. So all of these capsules would go into the recyclable pillow box, which you can see on the top, and they could be secured with some hemp twine, which is better for our environment. And the label would just showing whatever seed that had on the top of the pillow box. Then for the bulbs, I would use hexagon stretch paper. So once you pull apart the paper, the hexagons open and it would create some ventilation for the bulbs. And that would also be secured with hemp twine. For the box, I would like for it to be a recycled box and recycled shipping labels on the top, as well as these designs which were printed onto the recyclable shipping labels, and it would just show what is really in the packaging, make it very recognizable and distinguished. And for the side as well, I created this logo, which kind of coincides with Kelly's logo, and it tells more about what the package is. These recyclable shipping labels have adhesive paper, which is water activated. So that would also eliminate the use of glue. And what is tying the whole package together is just some recycled tissue paper, which you can see in this picture below. The pamphlet, I would like it to use algae or soy ink to be printed on, just so it's environmentally friendly, and it could possibly be printed on recycled paper. Now the pages of the pamphlet would kind of be a booklet together. So the front would just be Kelly's logo, and it would tell what it is, so it's also recognizable. And then I decided to put some tips for gardeners so that they can have some tips that coincide with Kelly's package. So there's gardening tips, flowers, some donating tips which coincide with some of Kelly's beliefs in her company. And I thought that was a nice thing to put in the pamphlet. Getting started with composting, some regular tips. Chicken noodle soup recipe with a lot of ingredients that you could find in your backyard, and a coloring page just to have a fun activity that can involve different people that are receiving this package, maybe kids, or maybe just for anybody who wants to have some stress relief. So the event flyer would look like this on the left, and it would say when the event would be. And on the right, there's a pamphlet about me, why I designed the package the way I did. And this is a QR code to the blog where I documented the process of designing this package. So thank you for your time. And the next presenter is Kim, Angelica, and Mason.
All right, hello. I'm Mason. I go to Davis Senior High School.
Hi, I'm Angelica Aragon, and I go to Downey High School.
And my name is Kimberly Berrigan, and I also attend Downey High School.
So our initial thoughts on the project included how to meet the client's needs, how we would meet our goals, and how we would meet the project requirements. As our project had to be as regenerative as possible, our brainstorming and research had to start as soon as we could. So our design process began began with setting design parameters, such as not using any glue in our design and every material had to be recyclable. We also discussed our materials through group brainstorming and concept sketching.
When we first began thinking about the actual design, this is where we ran into our first obstacle, which had been how are we going to incorporate the correct materials as well as obtaining them to fit our clients' criterias. Along with how are we going to fit it into our own theme, we wanted to maintain in order to complement Kelly's original company feeling. But after much research, we were able to overcome and begin the layout process.
And that takes us to our design process. What really caught our team's attention when we sat down with our client, Kelly, was her mention of wanting packaging that reflected her company as being fun, fresh, and inviting. This led our team to the idea of designing the interior of the box to resemble a garden bed. Along with this, we created a picket fence divider, which we see some images here on the slide, for the box. We wanted form and function, so with this divider, we designed it to be able to be cut up by the consumer to be used as labels in their own garden beds.
We found ourselves really going into depth with the colors of the packaging and really looking out for the color wheel already set for open source ag. We wanted to create the same feeling as with Kelly's color wheel, but we found we wanted to broaden our horizons and the options given to us. So we began creating these color palettes.
Prototyping. So to the left, we have some sketches of initial packaging designs. Underneath the box sketch is one of our first concepts for a seed/bulb package. The images in the middle and on the right are some tests of that sketch design. We wanted to take some inspiration from Japanese origami with our seed and bulb packages. We were unfortunately unable to completely flesh out this concept, but our team realized that trial and error would be inevitable with this whole design process. Here is another sketch of what would have been a bulb package. Again, we wanted to take some inspiration from origami with our designs, but this idea stayed on the drawing board.
These are a few versatile flyer designs our team created to be filled with various types of information. These are color wheels that we came up with and that complement Kelly's original color palette. These are a few more flyer designs that go with our previous slide that can also be filled with various types of information while also incorporating the original open source ag color palette.
Moving on to our final product, our seed envelope is a pillow box made out of completely recyclable material, and our bulb package is a cardboard mesh that actually serves as a plastic-free substitute for bubble wrap while also providing ventilation for the bulbs that is also made out of completely recyclable material.
And here we have the finalized box design. Our team decided to go with the large box design in order to best showcase the whole garden bed concept. We also wanted to take advantage of printing on the interior of the box and thought the lid would be a nice space to provide some picture instructions. For example, on our sketch, we included some planting tips. All designs would be printed with algae ink. The designs of the box would also feature the open source ag color palette, and to seal and secure the package, we would use water activated tape, which is paper-based and compostable and eliminates the use of glue, which is non-compostable.
And finally, our website. Here are some images, just one, of our website. And on it, you can find more information about our journey throughout this internship, along with more information about ourselves and different ways to contact our team.
Thank you for listening to our presentation. Up next, we have Ricardo, Daniel, and Derek.
Hi everyone, thank you for being here. My name is Ricardo.
I'm Daniel.
And first of all, we'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Beja Group for allowing us to take part in this internship. It's been a great experience, and we had a lot of fun doing it. We met in person, and it was just a great experience.
All right, so our mission was to give back. We wanted to make a complete self-contained package that was completely biodegradable and completely regenerative, while also being able to be used by someone with no prior gardening experience. We needed some of our goals. We needed to make the seed packaging as completely biodegradable as possible. So we could leave as little environmental impact as we could. Sorry, my video cut out. One of our other goals was to have a way for our product to give back to the community. One of our main ideas was that people who receive our packages and grow their own produce could donate the unused resources and the unused produce back to their communities and back to something called a gleaner. For those of you that don't know, gleaners are food banks and farms that collect unused produce from individuals to be donated back to other people who may be in need of them and are unable to afford them. Moving on, some of our constraints were that our box had to be capable of holding 3 to 5 packages, seed packages, and several standard flyers, which will be covered a little later. Something we wanted to push through our package was making the receiver feel like they're part of a bigger community. We wanted them to feel like they were able to make a difference in the world, regardless of their experience or their confidence or any prior knowledge about what we're trying to push. Something else we were also trying to include was all the necessary information needed to grow the seeds. Something we as a team decided is that we should be able to give this package to someone, any random person on the street, and they should be completely able to grow a full garden with the seeds that we provide to them. And then another constraint was that we wanted to have some logos / sponsors on the side of the packaging to actually advertise who it was from and who was trying to make a difference in the world. All right, so our product development started with some brainstorming for the packaging ideas. Our original 2 concepts were either a box or an envelope, like a biodegradable standard UPS size envelope. We ended up going with the box because of its rigidity and its durability in the real world, where packages are normally thrown around and sometimes destroyed. After that, we moved on to our choice of materials. As a group, we met online and we discussed several different materials. We needed our package to be completely biodegradable, so we researched into that, and we came across several websites where they listed what their products were made of. Some examples would be the seed paper, which is completely made of seeds, and some honeycomb paper, which is also made from plants. After that, we needed to find a cost-effective source to order from. We went, that was a little trickier because we went through a phase where we were meeting in stores and trying to find whether the store had a better deal versus online places like Alibaba, AliExpress, Amazon, eBay at times. But we ended up going with Amazon because of its consistency and its ability to provide us with what we needed at a reasonable price. It was also cheaper to buy in bulk, so that would help the cost. And then we ended our product development by meeting in person after one of the weekly meetings and producing a final prototype.
As for the materials we used, for the box we ended up using, it would be a replica, a box for what we intended to use. But either way, the size was what we needed. And so the actual box we wanted to use would have been a recycled cardboard box in which you can just recycle it once more and it can be used again. As for the seed packages, which would be the one with the rubber band, those would be made of glassine sealed paper. Glassine being made of like old like bark on trees, making it completely biodegradable, along with a biodegradable bubble mailer, which would be the bluish package on the picture. Those would contain the flyers and also make for our divider, along with the seed tape being used for the flyers. The seed tape being completely biodegradable and can be planted in order to actually grow a free plant. And the bulbs will be wrapped in the honeycomb paper, which if you stretch out, opens up as a naturally and creates holes for them to breathe in. And to completely seal the package, we chose to use a seed tape, which is a tape made from seeds, being completely biodegradable. Moving on to our building procedures. We first started off using the pre-made box, as I already told, due to pricing constraints. Using a compostable folder, I made it into the divider, which would have been on which was shown in our final, prototype design. So this divider serves us a way to separate the seeds and the bulbs. The bulbs being wrapped in the bubble mailer made of honeycomb, and then the seeds being on the other side of it, being placed horizontally. You can place more than 6 of them at a time. Then lastly, in order to keep everything in place, hold the bubble mailer still and also seal the package once it's actually done, we would use the seed tape in order to close it off. Moving on to the flyers we included inside of it. Our flyers, we wanted to make it with algae ink to ensure the product would be completely sustainable and regenerative. These flyers would be placed inside, on the seed tape, and then not seed tape, on the seed paper, and then placed inside the flyer. And the flyer would go on top of the box, as a final sealing to it. Although that was not shown in the picture. Either way, these would be the first 2 flyers. One of them would be a welcoming to anyone who would open the package. This would be the first flyer. Another one would be just a fun word switch to make people more involved in our actual package and for it to be more memorable. As for the other 2, I think Ricardo is able to show you.
So as Daniel mentioned, we wanted to make sure that anyone that receives your package would be able to correctly and efficiently plant the seeds and bulbs we give them and make sure that they reach maturity and yield produce. So here we included the instructions on how to properly tend to your plants as well as plant them. And then here is the cost for our prototype. The final cost of the materials was around $95. However, we had a lot of spare materials after finishing our prototype, which, if producing in bulk, could be used to manufacture several different packages. This next slide shows how much each package would cost if bought in bulk. And originally, here you can see it's $12.80. However, we changed the sources on our where we'd be acquiring our materials, and we actually brought it down to around $6.80 for each package, because the seed tape would be cheaper, I believe, and flyers would also be cheaper. So overall, it's a bit on the costly side, but like Daniel said, our product is completely 100% compostable. If you wanted to, you could take everything out of the package, put it underground, and it would be gone in a couple months. So the three of us, we all attend Downey High School. We're all part of activities in school. We do robotics. I think Derek does game design. And like I said, we're so grateful to the Beja Group as well as Open Source Ag for this opportunity. And yeah, any questions? No? All right, well, thank you so much.
Okay, our next presenter will be Victoria.
Let me share my screen. There's a problem with me sharing with my screen with Canva. I don't see it on the sharing screen.
Victoria, can you share the link with someone like Alani or myself, and we could share for you? So just let us know when you send it. Or would you like us to come back to you, Victoria?
Oh, she sent it to me, but
Oh.
I don't have permission to see it though. I requested access via email, I think.
You can just come back to me and move on to the next intern.
Thank you, Victoria. We'll come back to you. We'll get this worked out for you.
Thank you. Our next presenter is Miriam.
Hi, everyone. All right. So my name is Miriam Abdulmanem, and I wanted to give a little bit of information about how plantable paper works. So it's basically pulp and seeds that result in planting some paper. So basically you put it in soil and you take care of it for a little bit, and then you watch them grow into herbs, veggies, or wildflowers. So for my product development process, I had two different ideas. And so I went ahead and ordered a few samples from Botanical Paper Works and Hero Packaging. Unfortunately, conflicts have happened and it caused my product to not reach me. So I decided to create my own. This was inspired from the Sierra Club seed packet. So I basically folded the left side and it has all my measurements. I glued it, and then I used some scissors and some pencil just to like mark where exactly I want to make my package. And this is a small packet like sizing. You can always make it bigger. So this is the back side of the package, seed packet, and that's the front side. So that was the final product. And this box, I decided to put in this rectangle the name of the seeds that will be provided in each seed packet. So for here, this is an example of sunflower seed packets, and the logo will be right here, and the name would be in the black rectangle, or you can have the logo next to it. for the bulk packaging, I decided to support a small business called Earth Hero, and they basically have eco-friendly, biodegradable mesh bags. And they are reusable, like 100% reusable, and you can always store the bulb after putting it in some newspaper to dry it and keep it fresh. For the compostable packaging, Hero Packaging does a lot of different sizes. They also allow you to choose your logo. So the logo would be down here, and then it would be a small size packet. So that is the one that I had to buy from a different source because, again, I was not able to get because it was failed shipping. So what is included in each packet? We basically have these biodegradable confetti paperworks, and those are a bunch of leaves and hearts that are totally plantable. They also come in like different sizing coloring sheets. This one is a 16 by 15, and the seed packet right here. We also have the flyers. So the first one on the left is the invitation flyer. It has the email, contact info, email, website, and then the one on the right side is how regenerative paper works. There's just a few steps, and then each of these papers, they're all plantable, and they at the bottom they contain what type of seeds they're gonna, what type of plant they're gonna grow into. Another flyer was about me. So for example, down here it says bird's eye, and that's if you like cut the paper, that's what it will grow into. There was another food recipe, which was Poland dumplings, and they're all vegetarian, and they serve a pretty good amount of people. So with that, I decided to put a food drive and how to provide for everyone. It basically shows a few easy steps on how to share for your neighbor or for your local food bank. And then I created a website which talks a lot more about my daily design, product development, and just a lot more about me and why I chose to make these products. Thank you so much for listening. Next up is Edson, Antonio, and Evelyn.
Okay, so this is Group 5 for Regenerative Product Design. I'm Antonio Batris, a student at Warren High School. And what drew me in was a love of nature, surfing, mixed with an interest in environmental law. That drove me to this deep dive because I want to help businesses. And I hope that this business serves as an example for others, so that they may act in a way that is more, so that they may act with more concern for our environment.
Hello, everyone. My name is Edson Castro, and I'm also going to be a senior at Warren High School. What drew me into this deep dive is I love to travel and I love to see different parts of the world along with the nature that's around them. And I've also seen multiple documentaries on the negative effect pollution is having on our world. And I wanted to make a positive impact on the fight against pollution. And when I saw this deep dive, I thought that would be a great way to make that first step in what I wanted to do.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Mendoza. I attend Downey High School, and my love for business and the environment led me to pursue this internship. I've always been an advocate for recyclable, biodegradable, or compostable alternatives, and I hope that this internship would not only widen my work experience, but would help to educate myself on how industries can have a positive environment on the environment.
Our goal for our group specifically was to create small, eco-friendly, and regenerative packaging for open source ag. This meant seed packets and envelopes that were able to be shipped by mail.
We initially had 4 ideas that came to mind in the beginning of our process. These 4 ideas included sugarcane straws, which decomposed in about 24 weeks, mushroom boxes, which were made out of hemp herds and mycelium, which we found to decompose in about 45 days, and a corn-based plastic that we thought decomposed in 90 days, which didn't turn out to be true. And a tomato seed paper that you can basically just throw in the dirt and it'll like break down in the dirt. However, none of these 4 ideas actually ended up working out, so we had to take a different route.
So the problems with our initial ideas were that with the straw idea, it would not be possible to place the logo onto it, which was a requirement. Then with the mushroom and tomato seed paper, it was a costlier option. And when we contacted the mushroom packaging company, they did not get back to us regarding our sample requests. And with the corn-based packaging, there could only be broken down into a controlled environment. So we also had to scratch that idea.
The idea came from just watching videos on like an alternative form of a way to serve a dessert. And from there, I thought, well, if you can eat the packaging that food is coming in, then I'm sure that you could put it into your garden. But upon further research, I ended up finding water-soluble paper. And that's kind of where we started working on our idea.
Our product is completely regenerative and eco-friendly. It's made from wood pulp, fiber, cellulose, and other compostable materials. So it's completely compostable and completely eco-friendly. The paper is held together with a process that the manufacturers of our product actually use that weaves together each individual fiber and then breaks the weave down when it's like submerged in water, which is how it can decompose in water. So this means that like when you decompose our product in water, it's also safe to then put in your dirt or into your garden.
So here we have a video demonstrating how our product works. So in this video, we show you how the packages look and how we created them ourselves. The seal is the brown along the edges that we created by applying water and heat to join the paper together. And so what we did was lined the 3 edges with water and then ran an iron over them until the edges were sealed. We used rice as a placeholder for the seeds and sealed off the final side the same way. The shipping envelope works the same way, except it requires 3 sheets of paper joined together and uses a thicker paper. And here we can see how it dissolves.
And going back to my slide, as you can see it starting to dissolve in the water, the remains of it is what like you can put into your dirt and into your garden, and it's completely safe to do so.
So we had to experiment a little, and with heat, we were able to join the pieces of paper. And after adding water followed by heat, we found that the paper would join, and this allowed for lower cost of materials because glue or tape is not needed. And it also meant there was fewer materials needed to our final product.
This is our price breakdown. For the seed packs, a pack of 500 of the water soluble translucent paper on Amazon is $68.95. Each individual sheet of paper can make 4 seed packets, which puts the cost of 1 seed packet at around 3 cents. As for the shipping envelopes, these are more expensive because I couldn't find a bulk option. The cost might be brought down if maybe you talk with the company and can like come to an agreement for buying in bulk. But from what we got on Amazon, a pack of 25 is $12.59, and each envelope takes about 4 sheets of paper, so that would put it at $2 per envelope. But like I said, if you are able to buy in bulk, that would bring the cost down.
The positives to our product is that it's completely eco-friendly. And like I've said in previous slide, it's completely dissolved in water. And then the waste that's left in the water can be thrown into your dirt or garden. And aside from the ink for our logo that's on our product, there's no extra additives and it's just a paper product. And it's also very cost effectively, especially for the seed packets. The cons, however, is at the time of our design, the thicker option for our package envelopes was actually out of stock at the time. And like I was talking about the ink for the logo, it was from a standard printer. So the ink itself was not eco-friendly, but those are like the cons that our product has.
And the solutions to our cons would be waiting for the thicker paper to be in stock, and the exact product used in the showcase is not a viable option because it could not be shipped in the mail, but waiting for it to restock would resolve that. And as for the ink could be resolved by using algae-based ink, which is completely natural and 100% biodegradable. So that was our product idea. Thank you so much for listening. Presenting next is Isabel, Carissa, and Erica.
So we are interns of the Bahia Group, and this is our Regenerative product design project. My name is Erika Alonso, and I'm from Downey High School.
Hi, I'm Carissa Avila, and I'm from Downey High School as well.
Hi, I'm Isabel Wong, and I'm from Crescenta Valley High School.
So our client is Open Source Ag, and our task was to create a small shipping packaging and a small seed packaging and a bulk packaging, also with different flyers. And this is one of the first flyers we created when we introduced ourselves, me, Carissa, and Isabel.
So this is our blog. Each week we did take turns documenting our progress along with our problems and more. At first we did have problems sharing the blog so that we can all edit the website, but we got around it by having one shared account on Weebly.
Here's our design process. So we started out by brainstorming on a shared Padlet where we put all of our ideas. It was really helpful to see everyone's unique ideas and to bounce ideas off of each other. Some of the aspects for packaging that we took from this brainstorming was foldable seed paper packages, like this one, compostable materials, and packages that could also be used as crop labels. Next in the design process, we ordered a free sample kit from a company called Eco Enclose. We experimented with making packages from the materials and went through many ideas before settling on our final design. For example, here is a bold package that we tried to make, but we couldn't figure out how to close it and make it secure, so we decided not to go with that idea. Here's another example of a bold package. It has a leaf cut out in the middle for ventilation, but it was really hard to cut through the box, so we also decided not to go with that.
For our small shipping packaging, first we were thinking about using a box, but then we really liked the free samples we got from Eco Enclose, and we decided to use the apparel mailer from Eco Enclosed that its dimensions are 7 by 9 and each unit costs 48 cents. Before, the apparel mailer was just one simple color and we wanted to be more creative. So we decided to create a design of vegetables, and I actually have it right here, and with the open source ACA logo. The pros for the packaging is that it's made 100% recyclable material, is strong and flexible, curbside recyclable, plastic free, is compostable and easy to open. And one of the cons for the packaging is that it could be like a little bit too small, and its colorful ink, it's not as environmental friendly.
For the small seed package design, we wanted to make an origami seed package. So I searched for several different tutorials on YouTube, but decided on this one in the end. So this is how I folded the seed package. It's very easy to fold and only takes about 3 minutes. For the seed package, we will use 100% recycled craft paper from Eco Enclosed, and we will use the sturdiest option. Each package would cost half a cent. So the pros of the package are it is origami, so there is no need for glue or other materials to hold it together. It can also be used as a crop label to put in the soil after you take out the seeds. It can be printed with sustainable black algae ink. It is recyclable and compostable, and it is plastic free. However, a con is that it may be confusing to open and close. I have the package right here. So to open it, you take out the paper tab from here and then unfold the top. So then you can open it to get the seeds inside. And then to close it, you fold the top back down and then put the paper tab back in to hold it secure like that. And for the design, I wrote the name of the plant here with a small design on the front. And then on the back, there's a space to put the number.
For our bulk package, we decided on using an egg carton. This package is a 4x6 and it is eco-friendly and compostable and recyclable. It can hold up to 6 different bulbs. And online they come in a pack of 25, which means individually they are about 47 cents. So they are very affordable. And some cons to this is that there's little to no air circulation, and it might be a little bit too big to fit into the package to be shipped out to. For our flyers, we did come up with 5. The first one is just a layout that Kelly would be able to fill out with her own information for an event that is yet to come. The next one is tips on composting. And then there's tips on getting started, letting you know which soil is best for what you're trying to plant. There's a flyer on the open source ag and tips on direct sowing.
As a member of the group, I really enjoy working with Carissa and Isabel, and we wanted to thank the Bahia Group and Open Source Act for giving us this opportunity. And thank you for listening. And our next presenters are Ash and Julia.
Hi everyone, my name is Julia Linney. I am from Glendale Unified School District and my partner's name is Ash Ramirez and they're from Downey Unified School District. And this is our presentation on our design for regenerative packaging.
We first wanted to go through our goals and visions, both our own and of Kelly's. Goals that we had or that we shared was that we wanted the whole thing to be as regenerative as possible, down to the little things. Our packaging was the medium packaging, which is about 15 inches by 9.5, sorry. And it needed to hold at least 5 through 10 seed packages, and it needed to go through the normal US Postal Service. Visions that we shared and that we had was that it needed to be colorful and fun, and we wanted people to feel as if they were part of the community when going through the packaging.
For the brainstorming process, we had a lot of different things to consider. First, we decided that our packaging would be both reusable and compostable. We opted for the bag packaging for our design, and we included both recycled and seed paper. Our packaging is a design that is an option that does not include bulbs. And we also made sure to follow the size guidelines for the medium packaging. And we also thought about accommodating for all possible seed sizes. For example, pumpkin seeds tend to be bigger than tomato seeds.
We wanted our color palette to resemble that of the original Open Source Ag logo, and we wanted something that was pleasing for the eyes, it wasn't too strong, that could be enjoyed.
For prototyping, we ordered 2 options from the company Echo and Close. Our first option on the left turned out to be made out of a more flimsy material that we didn't think was durable enough to hold the rest of our packaging. And so we opted for the 100% recycled craft mailer. It is also 100% compostable. It's made out of a thicker, more cardboard-like material, so we decided it would be durable enough to hold everything that we needed to ship out.
To protect the seeds, we have the biodegradable green wrap. It's both recyclable and compostable, so it fit our requirements. And in order to keep everything together, we have the zero waste stickers. Although they're not compostable like the rest of our things are, they are 100% recycled.
For our seed packaging, Ash and I had the idea to use toilet paper rolls. The packaging would look something like this, enclosed on both sides. A biodegradable string like twine could also be used for extra security, but even without it, enclosing it like this gives enough durability to send the seeds. The purpose of using something like a used toilet paper roll is that the customer can receive this, and they would also receive instructions to make them into germination pods to grow their seeds. The purpose of germination pods is to increase the survival rates of the seeds because you can grow them inside and monitor them more closely. Toilet paper rolls are also a common household item, so the new gardeners can learn to make germination pods and have a tool for improving their gardening. We also explored the idea of incorporating companion plants in our design. Companion plants are plants that are often grown together in gardening because they provide benefits for each other. An example of this is tomatoes and marigolds. And so if the company didn't want to necessarily use used toilet paper rolls for their more professional packaging, they could use plantable seed paper instead. And when you plant the seed paper, the paper actually grows whatever seeds the paper is made out of. And so in this case, instead of the toilet paper roll, the seed paper would follow a similar design and would also be able to be used as a germination pod. For marigolds, marigolds are a natural pest repellent, so they are often planted with tomatoes to make tomatoes grow healthier and grow pest-free. And so when you plant the germination pod together with the tomato seed, When planted in the ground, they grow together and the marigolds would help protect the tomatoes. Another example of this is asparagus and basil. The combination of asparagus and basil is known to attract ladybugs, which are another natural pest repellent. So similarly, the packaging would be made out of basil paper. So when planted with the asparagus sprout, they would grow together, attract ladybugs, and so on.
These are our flower flyers that we came up with. Here are some close-ups of them. We have the About Us flyer, which is just talking a bit about our process and our experience through the internship. There's the event sample. So here, Kelly would be able to add the details to any event that she or her company would have. We have a recipe sample to help beginners or anyone really to help them find a way to cook their ingredients. This is just an example. It could be any of the plants. And we have a guide to how to compost, since most of our materials are compostable. If a beginner is using these products, we want them to be able to know how to compost the materials correctly and how they would be able to use it to help their garden grow. Lastly, we have the seed planter guide. This just talks more about the seed planters, how they can be used to germinate, and how users at home could use their own paper toilet rolls to continue the process of germinating their own seeds. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you. Next up, Victoria.
Let me share my screen. Okay. Hi, my name is Victoria Mejia. I'm a Downey Unified School District intern, and I'm working in this regenerative product design internship for the summer, and I attend Warren High School. And the reason why I have green is good right here is because I wanted to develop kind of a slogan that kind of sees an eco-friendliness image throughout my learning experience. Now, in the beginning, I was inspired by all those Keep Down and Beautiful cleanups I've been doing, and I was thinking to myself, I want to help make the environment like a better place. So I just take on this internship and I created a goal for myself, which was my goal was using other materials other than plastic to create like a sustainable and regenerative product for the earth and for the world. Now, for this internship, I was supposed to create a seed package, bulk package, a flyer, and a shipping box, as well as blogging into a website every week that describes my experience, my progress, my shipping box design, all that. And I chose a medium-sized seed package, so that includes up to 5 seed packets. Now, as you see to the right, you'll see a seed paper pouch. So what seed paper really is it just a seed paper? It can decomposes into nutrients and then it can transform into growing plants right there. So how I made the seed paper pouch was pretty easy. So you just folded it half to the center, and then you folded the bottom portion up. I just put tape on it, and I just used paper clips to close the opening so people won't have like a hard time like getting it out. They could just pull it in with the paper clips. And I just put these little seed packlets like peas, carrots, tomatoes, lettuce, all that stuff. I just put it into the seed paper pouch just to make it kind of like easier, just to not open them individually, but you can open them just together. So as you see right here, the bulk packaging, originally I was supposed to have it in a correlated cardboard box, but the plan didn't work out at the end because it was really unstable and it didn't really glue onto the tape as well. So instead, I just used biodegradable green wrap that has 100% recycled materials, and it really has good ventilation for like the bulbs to survive. And I just put twine to like secure it and all that stuff. And now moving on to the shipping box. Dimensions were 9.5 inches by 6 inches by 3.5 inches. And I used corrugated cardboard because it could be recycled, and which is makes it sustainable for packaging. And I kind of used composable tape. I ordered it from Eco Enclose, and I used that to like to gather and tape my package together. And to the right, I just brainstormed different ideas for the box shapes. So I listed kind of pros and cons there. There you see a triangular prism, a rectangular prism, and a handlebar design. So basically, I used the triangular prism because I just thought it was a pretty unique shape to work with, and I just thought it kind of was inspired by the recycling sign shape. Now for the outer design, this is an upload from Pacdora. This was the upload from there. There was so many problems working with this app. So essentially, I just moved on to the backup plan, which I was printing it out and cutting out the design. And then I just pasted it onto the box. The green is good words didn't come out as well though, but I just put it the flower packaging onto the box. Now towards the finishing shipping box. So the open source ag is on the front of the triangle. I wanted them to be included in there since I was working with them. And the side of the box right there, that's just flowers and leaves. I kind of printed out from Pacdora and I wanted to be creative with it. And on the bottom of the box, you see is green is good design because I wanted to become personal with it and also with my art to kind of be shown. I wanted a piece of myself to be on the package, in other words. And here I use Weebly. That's a website that is used to blog in my learning journey. So right here on the bottom, you'll see my learning pages, my front pages for my journal. Moving on, the flyer. These are just the front flyer. I just wrote on tips on how to create a beautiful, healthy garden. I wanted to show how like creative I am. So I decided to make a flowery kind of vibrant background just to be creative with it. And with open source colors, I didn't do like the background though. I kind of was do it on more on the pictures on the for the flowers. So I put it on the flowers instead of the background. And on the back of the flyer, just put a grass background on it. And that just tells how my packaging is kind of regenerative or sustainable. It's basically what I said previously. And yet this is meant to be inspirational and kind of inviting and engaging in a way. And these are just some recipes that I included though. I wanted the people to be like engaged into it. So I added some of my favorite recipes that I love cooking around my home, like egg noodle soup and tomato basil soup. Those are like one of my home classics, and I kind of wanted to share with people. So if they want to learn how to cook, this is a great opportunity for them to do so. And these are basically some of the seed veggies that I used earlier. I just put it on the recipes for them so they can cook using like the seed paper and using the vegetables they have. And thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it.
Thank you everyone for your presentations. You guys did incredible. I wanted to give this time to Alani. I know there were a couple of words that our deep dive co-designers wanted to share with the group.
Yes, we all wanted to say that we are so proud of all the interns' work. I know personally, I learned so much about all different kinds of regenerative products because everyone did such amazing research in such different areas. I was especially interested in like all the different ideas everyone found. Like there were some commonalities, but there were also so many vast differences of like toilet paper rolls and like little capsules that you can melt and so much seed paper. And there were so many creative ideas that everyone had. It was super inspiring to see. And we're all so proud of you. And we're very glad that we all got to work with such brilliant people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alani. And now I think we want to open the floor to any questions.
Yes, and we're so fortunate that Kelly Cooper is here. So Kelly, what do you think they designed for your company?
First of all, I want to thank all of the co-designers in Bea Group, and I'm grateful for all of you interns for the amazing, even more than I expected work. And thank you to Regina for inviting Open Source Ag to be the kind of organization of choice. I wanted to talk just for a minute about some of the ways that I saw that you validated really the intent of Open Source Ag. A couple of things. One, when I saw the packaging, if I were to receive that package, and I think if all of us were to receive that package, we would be engaged immediately and excited. And as a nonprofit organization, it's perfect for me to feel confident that people are going to be happy and engaged in something they receive, because so much of the time, a request from a nonprofit organization is more wrought with guilt or anxiety or should or could. And I think that with all of your packaging, when you receive that from this nonprofit Open Source Ag, it's going to be, oh, this is going to be great. Let me call a friend, or let me get my family members involved. The other thing is that what's happening with the environment is at a critical stage. And this is a way to make contributing to a better future for our families and our communities fun. And I think that that fun element is what will really catch on. And I appreciate that all of your designs were fun. No one referred to how many people are without food. We all know this is true, but coming together as a community is what's going to address that in the environment, not reminding everybody about what is not and what is in crisis. And so for Open Source Ag, the term open source relies on really a community of contributions, and I'm relying on your designs to spread that message. These are the designs that we will be using to send out, right? This is not something that we're putting together as any kind of an internship homework assignment. You will see over the next 30 to 60 days, all of your packaging will be beyond prototype. I would love to reach out to you if that's possible, so that you can approve the prototypes that we get in and see if they indeed are your vision for going forward as Open Source Ag. So I'm incredibly appreciative of all of the work that you've done. A couple of questions that I had. When you were building all of these prototypes, one of the things that I find most interesting is the role of design thinking, because you went with Regina through the design thinking process. And I think that design thinking is the way that we can address this issue of the environment and of food stability, as well as many other issues. So I'd love to hear from a couple of interns on how you interpreted the design thinking process is something you could really utilize in all aspects of your own careers and businesses. Is everyone design thinking about it? Are there any thoughts on that?
I'd like to share my thoughts on it.
Great.
I think definitely with the Cradle to Cradle book that we received, and the first week of talking about the idea of regenerative design, it definitely opened me up to the idea that design can shift our products to something of abundance instead of encouraging people to use less of it. And if we just use good design to create things that help the earth instead of harm it, we don't really have to worry about using less and conserving and focusing on the more negative aspects of our climate crisis. So I think that was a really eye-opening aspect of the internship for me.
Exactly. Excellent. Excellent. Anyone else? So a question for each of the internship teams. What is your most excited element, or within your prototypes? What is it that you think, wow, this is what I really hope they go with first, because then I can understand what you're the most excited to see.
Well, with our team, something that we were really excited about was that garden bed interior for the box. It was something we clicked on immediately, and it was an idea we all had individually. And then we got into our little meeting, and then we all said it at like the same time. And it was really fun to develop that idea further.
Excellent.
Yeah, I can like go on to that point because Angelica was in my group along with Mason. And it was just so exciting, like being able to create a package that not only like created the feeling of being a part of something, but it also embodied what it was going to create later on. Like, and that's what we were really excited for our package, making it into a mini garden itself, as it was going to create a garden. And we were really excited for that.
Super. Anyone else?
So I was a part of the first group that presented, and I think the part we are most excited about is our box, because we spent the most time on that, and we went through like so many different iterations of how we wanted our design to look like, what we wanted to have, and like how, you know, the vines or the leaves would symbolize something. So that took us a while, and I think the end result was really nice.
I agree.
Could speak for a moment. In my packaging, I know like the capsule was kind of the main center of my box, but I felt very passionately about my pamphlet, and that truly brought me a lot of excitement because I think that it went along with a lot of your beliefs for your company, and I designed each one of those pages digitally. I drew them, and it's just something that I really enjoyed, and it was very exciting to do.
Thank you. Well, I look forward to this as the beginning of our adventure of your collaboration with Open Source Ag. I would love to keep in touch with you and work with you as we move forward with packaging and other regenerative design ideas. Your work is at a par with anything that we could farm out for professionally. Of course, farm is kind of a pun, but I am grateful and thankful for all of your efforts. And thank you again to Regina and to the Bea Group and to the co-designers.
Thank you, Kelly. I just wanted to note that you have a comment on YouTube. It says, nice job and congrats to all of the teams. Creative, focused, polished, and committed to customer success. So thanks for that. And those of you watching on YouTube, if you have questions, we will be sharing with the interns. And I have a question for you all. I'm curious, when you saw the job posting and you saw that this was working from home, and I'm just curious, what did you think it was going to be like to work from home and get paid? And what did it turn out to be like for you? If you could share some of your experiences with that. All right, I know a couple of you. I'm going to put you on the spot. Mason, would you be willing to share?
Yes, I would. So for me, working from home, I really had no expectations. I had thought that we would be sitting in front of a screen a little bit more than we had, but given that this internship is a lot less screen technology oriented, we were on a computer for less than 6 hours a week. I expected maybe more like 12, but yeah.
Were you able to collaborate with people from other communities?
I was not, specifically because I did not reach out, but I do think looking back at that now, that may have been helpful.
I'm just curious, those of you who did work with people from other communities, what was that like? I believe Julia, you did, correct?
Yes, I did. It was really interesting to learn about this person and work one-on-one with them. And I really enjoyed the time that we got to spend. Alani was our co-lead and she helped us directly a lot. And I really enjoyed getting to know her as well. And I think it just gave us an opportunity to work with more like-minded people that maybe we can't find directly in our own communities. So the online setting lets us branch out a lot more and find very diverse people. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is one of our, we in the past have had a product design, product development showcase or deep dive. And so this is our first time with regenerative product design. So I'm curious, what did you think about the focus on regenerative as a focus for the product design? Maybe Evelyn, would you be willing to share?
Yeah, so it was very interesting. Not only like working towards like building this product specifically, but everything else we learned as we were doing our own research for our products. So everything we learned within that was really interesting.
Did you know about these vendors beforehand who sold products like this?
Not exactly. But then as we like researched and contacted them for samples, you definitely learned a lot.
Do you feel like your how you purchase or consume has changed as a result of this internship?
Definitely, I think like when I order packages now, I definitely look at like how it's shipped and everything that comes with it and all the plastic, and it's definitely like concerning at how much waste it is.
How about for others? Do you feel like your personal choices may be changed as a result of this internship? I see some nods. Would you be willing to share?
Yeah, definitely. Like this internship was like an eye opener for like regenerative and sustainable like things in general. Like the research that we did like helped me realize like what I'm consuming like in my everyday life.
Yeah, it really makes me, I was just jotting down some of the vendors you shared, and I'm definitely going to look into some of those myself for if I'm shipping anything. So I really appreciate all the information you all shared. I've definitely learned a lot. I did not know about basil and asparagus. I did not know about marigold and tomatoes. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Well, to comment on the question you asked earlier about like the regenerative part, I would just say like it added a new aspect to like thinking of a product, because sometimes we would find a product that we would think works, but then we would like read more about it and we'd be, oh no, like it won't work. So yeah, I would just like to say it added an end goal that kind of made it more interesting.
I'd like to hear from Regina too about her idea with Cradle to Cradle and with regenerative design, and what it is that she saw that the interns both learned and contributed, and the potential for future opportunities with regenerative design.
Right. Well, this whole deep dive idea came from me actually going to a place that served churros, and the boxing was beautiful and it was fun and creative, but there was so much packaging. You know, you eat the churro in minutes and then you have to throw it all away. And it just really made me come up with the idea of, God, there's got to be a better way, right? We're just filling up landfills, and it's really just, it's a shame. And so, you know, coming to this internship and really bringing this to the forefront with young, brilliant people who have so many creative ideas. I mean, everything that you saw here was them researching on their own. I, at the beginning, gave them some ideas. We watched a short video on the Cradle to Cradle book because we didn't finish the entire book, but we focused in a couple of areas. But I think just being more aware for myself too, I learned so much. And a lot of these ideas they were coming with, I was doing the same thing, looking at what is that company and how can we get even better with the type of inks we're looking at putting onto the packaging and having those conversations. And the interns spent a lot of time in breakout rooms and talking with one another and the co-designers. And we'd meet after our meetings and say, you know, after our surveys, the surveys were so helpful to see how can we best serve our interns and helping them to achieve this amazing opportunity that you've given them. And we opened up the breakout rooms to have more conversations and to kind of show people, what are you working on right now? What did you find? And just building off each other's ideas. And a lot of these interns have already themselves been out in the community and have been serving their community. And the whole Julia's presentation with, that's prior knowledge that she's had with using flowers and vegetables from a course that she took, right? And so everybody has prior knowledge that they can bring to the table and educate us as adults. So the design thinking process, whether they realize it or not, they went through every single cycle of it. I know when you're new to design thinking, it makes it really difficult to try to piece that all together, but they nailed it, every single piece. And when they weren't successful in one area, they didn't give up and they pushed through and researched even more and leaned on each other, right, to help make it happen. So very, very proud of them. Super brilliant kids.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I also wanted to introduce someone. So as I mentioned earlier, we have been fortunate at Bayer Group to have collaborative partners who are school districts. And this one is near and dear to my heart because it's my alma mater. It is Glendale Unified, and we have Kristen here. So Kristen, welcome. We're so excited you're here to join us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm officially not in the position until next week, but I'm starting to get my feet wet with all the programs that we have in Glendale and with your organization. And I received the invitation through Dr. King, and I was able to hop on today to see this. And I mean, what wonderful work you are doing, and the students, so impressive. All the work and all the time, the effort, the imagination that's gone into this. I'm blown away, and I'm really excited to get started in working with you.
We're super excited. And like I said, Glendale, I'm a graduate of Glendale. Oh my gosh, I went there from kindergarten on. So to have interns who are going to Crescenta Valley, and it's one of those dreams that when I started doing this work to actually go back and work with Glendale. So, and again, we have Downey here. We've been working with Downey for this is the 7th year they've offered an internship program. And then Davis also, we've been working with them for a couple of years. So the interns from all those communities, it was so great to hear that you've been collaborating together and learning from one another. And so I just wanted to thank you, Kristen, for joining us. And I look forward to working with you more. And then do you have any questions for the interns?
I don't. I was sitting here just taking it all in, but just kudos. I mean, wonderful work.
Well, thank you.
I look forward to seeing what else is going to come next.
Yes, we have more showcases. That's my segue for a plug for the future, the upcoming showcases. So we have one coming up at 1 o'clock. And that is really special for us at Bayer Group because our colleague, Barbarella Focus, has a production company, Salt and Sugar Productions, and she is leading the deep dive for documentary filmmaking. And so the interns created short documentaries. And so the showcase at 1 o'clock is more like a film festival. So if you can come back for that, it's at 1 o'clock, same YouTube channel. So again, making a plug, please subscribe if you have not already. And then later today, we also have CRISPR. So that one is at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And our partner is actually based in Baltimore. So it's another a feature of being able to do this in a virtual environment is that we have industry leads who are from different communities and even across country. So that is later today. And then tomorrow we have blockchain. And so that's at 9 o'clock. And then social media and event management. That one's even farther. So our lead, Sandy, lives in London. And so she is leading the deep dive for that one. And that's at 11 tomorrow. And then environmental justice design at 2 p.m. And finally, our last one tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock is business development and entrepreneurship. And so we have many more showcases. And so we really appreciate you joining us. And I'm going to turn off the live stream for now, and we will keep all the interns here. So thanks everyone for watching.